As I told you, an autopsy takes time, but an early blood test indicates strong indication of an overdose. His blood was swimming with chems well after he died.
If I'm going to take action, I need to take it soon. People are already scattering.
Then let them leave. Nobody agreed to give you the power to stop freedom of movement. Just short-term detention to break up fights, deal with the drunks, and so on.
And if we have a murder on our hands, what then? Killing somebody is still against the rules.
And there are no immediate signs of foul play. I haven't spotted any track marks. No bruising. So far everything says he did a big dose of something nasty, and it killed him. I'm about to perform the autopsy, and I should have more results in an hour or two. I also have other patients who need my assistance.
Okay, I'll leave you to it. I need to go herd the hungover Brahm into their pens anyway.
How is your latest patient doing? Your cooperation is appreciated.
No cooperation on my part. He died from a simple overdose. He wasn't careful with what chems he consumed. An avoidable tragedy to be sure. I emphasize that such a tragedy should have been avoided. His death makes certain people suspicious. They were already on edge about the nature of this gathering anyway.
Eggs and omelettes, you know the drill. Profit margin was acceptable. You played your part. Terms of your payment?
You have my list. Everybody has a list from me. Of course, your list needs some discretion as part of my terms. If you are concerned about our would-be sheriff and her friend, they know they can't overstep their agreement with Broham. But out there are no rules.
You say that with such disregard. Do you really want something to occur? Perhaps to ease some bit of tensions?
No disregard at all. Larry wasn't a bad guy. Occasionally helpful. His deed serves a purpose, but his life also did as well. I could suggest my universal leadership of our little group of survivors, but my intelligence tells me that would be futile.
Let's not lie to ourselves, Manuel. We both know how you'll maintain control, and sooner or later it'll start to reel away. But business is business.
You were correct, business is business. Now, unless you have developed the new breed of foot fungus for me to study, you would best to do well to leave me to my work.
So, what's the word, boss? We gonna start running the usual suspects?
No, we aren't. Everybody agreed to certain rules, and that includes us. People are free to leave or to stay, at least until sundown.
I'm on the record for saying that's a really bad idea. But you're right. That's what we agreed to. When did we get so libertarian?
The second we left the vault, we left authority behind. The rules, for now, are what we all agree upon and nothing more. For now. Keep checking on the pen. Don't want anybody swallowing their tongue or their own vomit. Help with takedown and cleaning when you can.
All right, I'll let the others know. But for the exception, I'm staying until tomorrow morning until we have cleared out almost everybody else out.
And your help is much appreciated. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Go with God.
Good day, all the, I have heard the sad news, Larry. Such a senseless tragedy.
Hello, Zek. Yes, it is a sad day. Maxwell is trying to determine the cause of death, but it's assumed he overdosed on some bad chems.
I had been told that the chems were supplied by a combined effort of Maxwell and Wet Willie. Was this of their making?
I don't think so. Their bottles were clearly labeled, and in this case Larry has apparently consumed the entire bottle. Suicide attempt or poor judgment. We're not sure yet.
While I am a bit hungover, I would be glad to conduct a service for him after Maxwell has made his determination.
I don't recall Larry being much of a fan of religion. What did he tell you that one time?
He said something about putting my holier-than-thou book where my sun doesn't shine. He used cruder terms, I'm afraid. Nevertheless, he did assist me sometimes with preparation for the recovery group, and listened more often than not to some of my sermons while pretending to sleep. And services are for the living and not the deceased. A few people might want to say a few final words.
I don't know what to say, to be honest. Never much cared for him, but he wasn't the worst of the bunch. Mostly did the betting of maniac or jolly Jim.
Nevertheless, he was just a man, a fellow sinner. And aren't we all sinners in the end?
You're right, Gap. Gosh, darn. You're right. I remember my mother 7. Once we get things settled down, I can see what we can do.
And after I get a bit to eat, I'll assist with the cleanup. As an ass in the desert, I will go to my work.
Any word from Max? I was gonna shuffle off otherwise.
You're not gonna get 40 winks before you head off. You've helped enough to be one of the exceptions. You could stay around for a couple of.
Nah, it's been a pretty crowded couple of days and I need some peace and quiet. I can handle the scorch or girl better than a constant need for conversation.
I guess I can understand that, especially now with Larry and all. Maxwell was still saying it was probably an overdose on some bad chems.
And you aren't buying that for 1 minute, are you?
No, I'm not. There is something fishy going on, but I can't figure out who would benefit from his death, and a somewhat public one at that. They could have taken him out well after all this was over.
I'm not buying it either. He was stupid, but not that stupid. But he could be pushed quite easily. Maniac and Jim used to convince him to do all sorts of stupid things. But killing him would make no sense. He was loyal, and if they want to build a gang, why knock off one of your most loyal so early on? And because we are buddies, some people are wondering if maybe one of your followers of a Featherman decided to deal with him, knock off one of Maniac's men, send the message, that kind of thing.
They aren't my followers. I'm not their boss. Some people just happen to understand we need law and order. But no, nothing like that. Larry was a stooge, nothing more.
I figured it wouldn't be your style anyway. There were a lot of backwoods Kims out there. Figured more than half of the ones consumed weren't issued by Maxwell or Wet Willie. Caps could be a motive. For every cap at the table, there were another 5. But that doesn't make any sense because Larry was pretty low value.
More than half of all bets were the last 2 fights, and Larry was probably dead by then.
An apparent overdose. There were a few that already happened to, a few perhaps more intentionally. You're trying to hold back the flood long after the dam has burst, Ace. People scatter and will have less of a chance of somebody else dying.
I know I may be a broken record, but law and order kept us together in the vault. The overseer ran a tight but fair ship. Even you have to admit that.
I miss her too, but it was an illusion of fairness in a contained environment where she had the highest access. She could have silenced a rebellion with a few door codes.
So David Thorpe and the Cutthroats had it right all along. Is that what I'm missing?
God damn it, Ace. It isn't one or the other. You know who was. Most people would probably get along well enough without some code of conduct and trip. I kid. A gang enforcing the law is still just a gang. Violence being the supreme authority and all that jazz. Question is, how soon do you want to put it to the test?
We can build something new. At least, for a time. I give up on that so easily?
I'm not giving up, but I am keeping my expectations reasonable. Maybe most of us will follow a bit of a code that Maxwell sets down. Who knows? But remember, war never changes.
Not to sound like a screaming thing girl, I really enjoy your sense. Almost like being back down in the vault. Thanks for doing one from the Charleston crooners.
It's quite alright. I enjoyed being back up on stage. I lost so many bandmates, but the mechanized replacements were my saving grace. Maybe, in time, we'll put together some new songs. Maybe something of the crooner style. Maybe some experimental stuff. Not sure yet.
If we make that far, things aren't looking good. No overseer, no vault. Will people have enough time to stop and listen if they're too busy fighting for their lives?
Make no mistake, we are still fighting for our lives even now. But life is about quality and not quantity. We came together here. We can keep doing this. We lost somebody, Larry, but he wasn't the first to die from an overdose, accidental or intentional. God bless this, but not sure if we'll agree to some universal code of conduct. Laws, whatever.
If people want to take part in society, then they'll agree. Enough people with enough guns. They won't have much of a choice.
That's just a more subtle form of gang violence. And no guarantee the man with the gun will have reason in his brain, but either do what I say or I shoot you, or I'll just shoot you.
Not a single shot fired today or yesterday. She knew the tickets are deputies. We trust in her judgment. But Maniac and his brood are going to cause serious trouble, sooner rather than later.
And that self-control is very well appreciated by the headliner of our gathering. Perhaps that'll be enough for the foreseeable future. I hope so, anyway.
Assuming we have another one of these. I heard Sebastian talking it up that we just need to each go our own way. Can't hurt each other if it's just man versus the world. No offended intended.
I can't really agree with that. We're family. Maybe not by blood, but 25 years together counts for something. You are all part of my story, even if you drive me bloody nuts half the time. And on that note, I'm going to check on Maxwell. Have a good day, and thanks again for the support. Hello, Maxwell. Oh, Olivia. I wasn't expecting you here. I just came to drop by.
It's okay, Maxwell was just about to tell me his findings. Whatever or not I need to investigate further or let sleeping dogs lay.
The autopsy has led me to determine that the actual cause of death was a mixture of cardiac arrest and respiratory failure. Most likely occurred after a loss of consciousness. He died rather quickly and most likely didn't suffer. I'd recommend that further use of Chemser in the presence of others so resuscitation can be possible in the future.
Can you at least determine what chems he was taking when he died? Can you be certain it wasn't something you handed out?
Olivia, you can't be serious.
It's quite alright, Davy. Some mixture of Mentats and day triplet. Probably 5 times the dosage I provide, times 20 or so doses taken in rapid succession. The lethal amount would have been about half of what he consumed. I can't completely rule out suicide, but there's also no supporting evidence for it either.
And just like that, I should end my investigation? We should really find out who supplied him first.
Everybody was allowed to take whatever they wanted. No interference. That's the rules. And you were all about the rules, right?
Somebody was peddling poison that has actually led to somebody dying, and you want me to ignore that?
I didn't say to ignore it. In the future, we can provide better guidelines. Perhaps avoid this in the future, but free will and choice, even if those choices are poor.
I think we all need to take a breather. I bought you some food and a Nuka-Cola if you want it, Maxwell. How are the rest of the patients?
I could use a brave break. Everybody else is stable. Some will walk out tomorrow, some will walk out in a few weeks. I don't foresee any more complications.
Okay, fine. I'll go help with cleanup. Most people are supposed to be gone by sundown, and it's almost noon now.
Would you be offended if I said I was leaving sooner rather than later?
Why would that offend me? I don't control your comings and goings. Out of camp anyway.
You are one cheeky bastard, Maxwell. But I know that I can't keep you all to myself, and I'm still out there searching for myself, I suppose.
Nothing wrong with self-discovery. You have a more complicated sense of self, and that obviously requires more time than most. I understand.
Do you ever wonder about yourself, and how your interpersonal relationships work? Don't you ever wonder who you, for lack of better words, belong to?
That one is simple to answer. I belong to myself, and my work. Nothing else comes before that. But that doesn't mean I discount my relations with others, personal as well as professional.
You ever wonder, when you are old and grey, your years behind you, that you will remember the rest of us?
I never forget anybody even after 25, 30 years. I still remember my earliest teachers and school friends. I'll always remember them.
And even you will face the mortal coil, and what will be lost to time once that happens. How long you think you got left?
That's an easy one. One way or another. I'm gonna live forever.
Hey boss, you gotta see this.
I'm not the... Okay, what is it? I've had enough surprises for today. Is that an arrow in your hand? It looks like, good lord, one of Edgar's arrows.
And here, the message written on the back of this. Looks like some old poster.
I know. You did this. Looks like it was drawn in animal blood. Finger painting. And what the hell is with that handprint next to it?
The poster is interesting too. Flip it over.
Sheep Squatch ate my brother. What the hell is a sheep squatch?
They're standing close. Joe lands a left hook to the body and a right.